Morning, students. In this session, we will discuss about the mathematical expression for interference of light. And in this, we have to consider the two concepts. First, Young's double slit experiment, in which we have considered the two sources of light, and these two sources of light are of zero or constant phase difference. Basically, that is known as coherent source of light. But the concept of coherent source of light will be discussed later on. So, as you know that in the Young's double slit experiment consists of the two sources of light. So, let us consider the two harmonic waves. Being start from the two sources of light, so we consider two harmonic waves starting from two coherent sources S1 and S2 are first. As you have read last year, that displacement equation of harmonic wave, it is given by y is equal to a sin omega t. So first we consider first equation is displacement is y1 is equal to a1 sin omega t, where a1 is the amplitude of the first wave, and y2 is equal to a2 sin omega t plus phi, where a2 is the amplitude of second wave and phi is the phase difference between the first and second wave which are being started from the source S1 and S2. And both these waves are reaching at a point P, that is the point of observation in time t. Right? Therefore, by considering the equation 1 and 2, that is y1 is equal to a sin omega t and y2 is equal to a sin omega t plus phi, we will apply the principle of superposition, because you know that the interference is based on the principle of superposition, in which the net displacement is equal to the vector sum of the displacement produced by each wave. So, by applying the principle of superposition, you will get y is equal to y1 plus y2. On substituting the value of y1 plus y2, you will get this a1 sin omega t plus a2 sin omega t plus phi. But the second term can be expanded by using the relation sin a plus b. And this formula, you know, this sin a plus b is equal to sin a cos b plus sin b cos a. On that basis, we can expand this term. Y is equal to a1 sin omega t. First term will remain same, but second term being expanded on the basis of this formula. So you will get a2 sin omega t into cos phi plus a2 sin phi cos omega t. Right? Now, in these two terms, this first term a1 sin omega t and in second term a2 sin omega t into cos phi, you can see sin omega t term is taken as common. So within this you will get y is equal to a1 plus a2 cos phi into sin omega t plus third term that is a2 sin phi plus cos omega t. So this will be the equation. Now we have to substitute some values here, in which this value a1 plus a2 cos phi, it is taken as a cos phi, and this a2 sin phi, this term is taken as a sin theta. Sorry, here a1 plus a2 cos phi is equal to a cos theta and a2 sin phi is taken as a sin theta. Now we will substitute both these values over this equation. So here you will get y is equal to a, instead of this a1 plus a2 cos phi, you will get what? A cos theta into sin omega t plus this term is taken as a sin theta. So you will write a sin theta into cos omega t. Right? And now if you will see, a is again can be taken as common. So when a is taken as common, the term will become cos theta sin omega t plus sin theta cos omega t, and which is equivalent to what? Sin a plus b. Means you can write this term as a A will remain A sin omega t plus theta. Right? This sin omega t plus theta, this is the equation of resultant wave which is superimposing at the point of observation P. Right? And from this equation you conclude that the resultant wave is also a harmonic wave and whose amplitude is A. That is capital A. Now we will further calculate the value of amplitude of the resulting wave.
3.
Now we can see that we have to find the resultant amplitude A of the resulting wave. So we considered that A1 plus A2 cos phi is equal to A cos theta, and we considered A2 sin phi is equal to A sin theta. Now take it as equation 1 and 2. Right? So as we have to find the resultant of amplitude, so on squaring and adding both these equations, we will get A square cos square theta plus A square sin square theta is equal to this A1 plus A2 cos phi whole square plus A2 square sin square phi. Now this A1 cos square theta plus A2 cos square sin square theta is equal to, you know that it is equal to A square, and here this term will be expanded as A plus B whole square. So A square plus, sorry, 1 minute, A square plus B square plus 2AB, right, plus this A2 sin square phi. From these two terms, you can see that this is A2 cos square phi and this is what? A2 sin square phi. So both these will be added and we will get what? That A1 square plus A2 square will be common, cos square phi plus sin square phi plus this last term 2A1 A2 cos phi. Now this you can write A1 square and cos square phi plus sin square phi by the identity that is equal to 1. So you will get A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 cos phi. Now we know that the intensity of light is directly proportional to intensity is directly proportional to square of its amplitude. So instead of this I is equal to, what you can write, I is equal to K square, I1 is equal to K1 square and I2 is equal to K2 square. Now on substituting these values in the above equation, this is the final, or you can say that this is the resultant or amplitude of the resulting wave. Now this equation has to be termed in the terms of intensity, because you know that in the interference of light we have read that due to the interference pattern at some places the intensity of light becomes maximum, intensity of light becomes minimum. So we have to convert this equation in terms of intensity. That is why we will substitute this value. On substituting this value, the final which equation you will obtain, that is I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2I1 I2 cos phi. Here I1 and I2. Here I is the resultant intensity which is observed at point P. But I1 and I2 are the intensities of light which are being produced by the individual source of light, that is S1 and S2. While this term 2 root of I1 I2 cos phi, that is known as what? Interference term, where when the phase difference is phi. So we find the resultant intensity of due to the interference of two waves. Resultant intensity, it is given by I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2I1 I2 cos phi. As you know that I1 is the intensity of first source of light, I2 is the intensity of second source of light, while this term 2I1 I2 cos under root cos phi, that is known as what? Interference term. Now we have to find the position or condition to find the constructive and destructive interference. Now what will happen? In the constructive interference, the value of I should be maximum, and for the maximum value of I should be maximum, this term should be positive. So what we will write? The maximum value of cos phi, it is given by that is equal to 1, and the function for what? Cos phi value is 1, that is phi is equal to 0, 2 pi, 4 pi and so on. These are the terms for which the value of cos will be equal to 1 or maximum. Right? Now, in the last year, we have read the relation between the phase difference and part difference. Phase difference, आपको मैंने बताया. Phase difference means this. One wave is starting in this way, another wave is starting in this way. There is a phase difference. That is the phase difference which is denoted by phi. For the part difference, you know that in this experiment, Young's double-slit experiment, we consider the two sources S1 and S2, and the waves are reaching to a point from the S1 and from the point S2. Right? So here what happens? The distance traveled by the light wave from the source S2 will be more than S1. So when you will draw a perpendicular from S1 on this S1 to S2P, this S2M, that is the more distance will be traveled by the second wave, and this term is known as what? Part difference. Yeah, you can say that suppose the one person is coming from the Birla to school and one is coming from civil line to school. So it is clear that the distance between them, the difference of distance between them to reach a same destination, that is known as what? Part difference. And last year we have read the relation that phase difference is equal to 2 pi x by lambda. So on the basis of that, you can write 2 pi x by lambda is equal to phi, and value of phi are the even multiple of pi. Even multiple of pi means 0, 2 pi, 5 pi, 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi and so on. So when you will calculate the value of x, you will get the value of x will be, for the first term it will be 0, second term it will be lambda, third term it will be 2 lambda, fourth term it will be 3 lambda. So you can say that the part difference between the two waves should be integral multiple of wavelength or lambda, 1 minute, for this. And finally we conclude from this expression that for the constructive interference or for the maximum intensity of light, what should happen? Between the two waves which are intervening or interfering at a point of observation, either they should have the phase difference of even multiple of pi, or the part difference between the two waves should be integral multiple of lambda or wavelength. Now we will discuss about the destructive interference. Now we will discuss about the destructive now we will discuss about the destructive interference. For the destructive interference, the value of I should be minimum, and for the value to be made I minimum, it is necessary that the cos phi should have equal to -1, and the value of function for this phi is equal to pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, odd multiple of pi. You will know that the value of cos phi will be equal to -1. So intensity of light will be least. Similarly, corresponding to the part difference, what you will write? You know that the phase difference is equal to 2 pi x by lambda. So you will write 2 pi x by lambda is equal to value of phase difference, that is odd multiple of pi. So on substituting this value, we will get the x is equal to L lambda by 2, lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 2, 5 lambda by 2, or you can say that odd multiple of lambda by 2. So now we finally conclude that for the destructive interference, the phase difference between the two interfering waves, the phase difference should be odd multiple of pi, and part difference between the two intervening waves will be equal to odd multiple of lambda by 2. So now one thing is clear, for the constructive and both destructive interference, the two different types of conditions are required which will produce maxima and minima.